This is Weekdays with Wendy, and I'm reading to you from the Love Your Neighbor, No Exceptions daily calendar. And today's reading is a quote by Pope Francis. Even if the life of a person has been a disaster, even if it is destroyed by vices, drugs, or anything else, God is in this person's life. You must try to seek God in every human life. Although the life of a person is a land full of thorns and weeds, there is always a space in which the good seed can grow. You have to trust God. You might be familiar with George Bernard Shaw's play Pygmalion. If not that, perhaps you're more familiar with the more familiar adaptation, the musical My Fair Lady. Now, the story is about a flower girl, a young woman who sells flowers on the streets, and very poor, very much the lower rung of society. And Professor Higgins is a professor of phonetics, and he and his friend, Colonel Pickering, kind of come up with this project where they will work on her way of speaking, and they think, or at least Professor Higgins believes, that he can fool the aristocracy, the upper class, into believing that Eliza is part of their class by changing the way she dresses, the way she acts, and most especially the way she speaks. Well, after this transformation, Eliza has developed feelings for Professor Higgins. He has developed feelings for her, but he can't stop treating her the way he has always treated her, poorly. And his excuse is that he treats everybody the same, poorly. Now, Eliza has a great quote in the play where she is speaking to Colonel Pickering, and she says, "You see, really and truly, apart from the things anyone can pick up, the dressing and the proper way of speaking and so on, the difference between a lady and a flower girl is not how she behaves, but how she's treated. I shall always be a flower girl to Professor Higgins because he always treats me as a flower girl and always will. But I know I can be a lady to you because you always treat me as a lady and always will." The idea that how we treat someone can affect their behavior, can affect who they are and become, is called the Pygmalion effect. And it gets its name from the same place that George Bernard Shaw got the name for his play, Pygmalion, from a figure in ancient Greek mythology. Pygmalion was a sculptor, and he created a beautiful woman out of ivory. He sculpted her, this beautiful woman, and realized that he had come to actually love this statue. And inevitably, this statue became a real woman because of his love and treatment of her. It's called the Pygmalion effect. Now, I don't think that we can love statues into being, nor should we try, but I do think it really matters how we treat someone. How we treat people can affect their behavior and how they see themselves. And so going back to Pope Francis's quote, you must try to see God in every human life. Every person you'll ever meet is someone who is a child of God, created by God and made in God's image. You need to try to see God in them. And if you can see them as a child of God, perhaps they can do the same. Have a great night.